Hello everybody. I'm going to give that minute to let people log on. Got to have a talk today. I'm going to do a presentation tonight on making a UN resolution. We're going to try and win the P5 with. We already have China outspoken on it. I think we can win the rest. However, there's a problem right now with the Republican UNSC reps, and that's Nikki Haley, former UNSC rep USA, and of course Kelly Knight Craft, a friend of mine, and she's having trouble too. I looked at both her Twitter, and it's the narrative, everybody. It's the narrative the Republicans are choosing to go with. It's bad, it comes out bad. Not that it's wrong, it's just the way they're presenting is not the way they should present this. And it's very simple. USA was built out of freedom. Independence is how they did that. They did that the violence route, which a lot of countries have. But USA, unlike the rest of those who've gotten independence from dictators, gave the power to the people. They're actually the only republic that I know of. And everybody who's loyal and who's followed me for a long time, you'll know that I have every single constitution in the entire world from every country. Fantastic gift by the world's greatest academics. I have all 205, even all those countries that aren't even in the UN in their terrible, terrible times still have constitutions. 205 of them, all in English, all transferred over. And in the narratives, meaning they crossed over with dictionaries to make them so that the meanings would be the same. Phenomenal amount of work. I didn't pay for that, but it was a gift to me, and I give that freely to everybody. And whoever wants to look at that, you can compare Canada to every other country in the world, which I've done. There's nothing so far for regions like provinces, territories, states, and the definition region, which is throughout the world too. But Russia uses the term region. Canada, we have territories, we have provinces. United States, we use territories and states. There's many throughout the world and variations of it. A bunch of them have constitutions too, and division of powers. Federal constitution can only cover so much. In Canada, it's the same as Russia and the United States. We have the same division of powers. However, we don't have none whatsoever, any constitutions of our regions. But to get back to what's going on here, so Nikki Haley and Kelly Knight Craft, leading the Republicans here, come out with the anti-race breakdown in preschool and kindergarten. They're saying no, we shouldn't teach that. We shouldn't teach little ones to identify race, because in those years, leave it at the college level, because if children aren't educated that there's a difference in color, they're never going to be any wiser to it until they're taught racism. I agree. However, they're missing the major point of the United States, and that goes back to what I just alluded to before I rambled off into constitutionalism. The United States, unlike any country in the world, went independent and warred five colonial powers where they all share the same thing. The people, the average Joe Jane, don't exist in the colonial system. You're called serfs or you're called peasants. And you're not even written in the Constitution. They have first, second, third class. That's monarchy. If you're third class and second class, you don't exist in your Constitution, meaning the politicians or the divine monarchy is absolute. That's it. They determine your rights and freedoms. They can change them at will, and they make you do whatever they want. You don't exist. You're not a human being, or you're at a reduced level of human being. Class. And then from there they decide which races are allowed to even be a class. And if you're not a serf, you're not a peasant, guess what? You're to be eradicated. That is the world of colonialism. The United States of America, the only country in the entire world that actually fought and won that entirely for the people. First and oldest example, oldest in the world, an impossible feat done many, many times. They had to. People say United States of America is warmongering. They fought 5 colonials. Now Africa fought 7, and look how badly Africa's fared over it. Canada fought 2, look how badly we're faring over it. And the list goes on and on throughout the world. You'll find many genocides. Does USA have genocidal history? Sure they do. But where did it come from? It came from the Union. Joe Biden will tell you this. Donald Trump should talk about it. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that circle, and it looks like I'm going to have to reach my friend Kelly Knightcraft, and I'm going to have to write her a strong piece and make sure she gets it and ask her to give that to Nikki Haley, because Republicans are going to go down the toilet if they stay on the narrative they're on. There's no shame in fighting colonialism. America is the land of freedom. That's the last bastion of free people, and they're under attack each and every day, as are the UNSC, the Allies of World War II. Every year you can follow the ICC. You can see just how tremendously busy the Allies are. Now, they don't always see eye to eye, and a lot of times they're at odds because they like to go after each other for a stronger position, because the only thing stronger than a UNSC member is another UNSC P5 member. And they will in their own turn try to manipulate to gain footholds in other jurisdictions controlled by other UNSC P5 members. It's too bad, but nevertheless, they're the Allies. That's our world system, and it's a pretty good world system, everybody, when you look at what is actually international law. So that's what we're going to have to work on too. Work at strengthening Nikki Haley and Kelly Knightcraft. Be the allies we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be those citizens in this world. It's time to stop being victims and start being true patriots, true allies. All Canadians can do this. There is no such thing as left and right. There are all kinds of American presidents from both Republican and Democrat. It has weighed heavier on Republican side. But regardless, all 3 of those candidates won resounding victories. Majority, meaning they won the right and left, both Republican and Democrat, in large majority. And how they did that? Targeting the truth, targeting the up and down, taking the power away from the few and giving it to the people, which is what America is constitutionally. It's really easy in America to be a constitutionalist. Children are brought up that way. Even Joe Biden, believe it or not, he's bringing that forward in a great narrative for early preschool to teach all the kids not to fall for mainstream media, which right now is attacking Joe Biden too. So everybody knows. News favoring China said that China chased USA out of Chinese waters. Reality was it's not true. USA sailed on through. They didn't sign the law of the sea. America will never sign the law of the sea. You can read their constitution to learn why. They remain in pre-World War II condition, and they will never, ever give that up. No Democrat or Republican. Why is that? That's because USA knows better than to ever forego waters. They protect their trade routes. They protect a lot of ally trade routes. USA commands a large military because they're never, ever going to let anyone take away their right to trade and keep a free world free. That's reality. It costs America a lot of money. A lot of money. And you know what? Canada doesn't pay their share. Still to this day, Trudeau doesn't pay his share. Before that, Harper didn't pay his share. We're this close to getting kicked out of NATO. And then so many people talk about, oh, we got to leave the UN, leave the UN. We are the broken wheel in the UN. We're leading the NWO. That's a fact, Canadians. You're going to be hard-pressed to dispute it. And when people try to bring up facts, they're always now bringing up UNSC posed by none other than Nikki Haley or Kelly Knightcraft, and people don't know the difference. There's General Assembly, and there's the UNSC P5. When you use UNSC P5 to try and strengthen your position, you're contradictory. I'm sorry. I know Canadians don't understand this. I know you've been misled for such a very long time. All of us have. I was there at one time too. I didn't know any better. I got busy, I got to work, and through searching legal path to independence for the province of Alberta, running in the 2019 election, I learned the world stage. I got on the world stage. Post that, I spent 2 years with the greatest academics, legal minds in the world, bar none. Every lawyer that's graduated in Canada has read most of the people that I've spent personal time with, have had to read their books to pass their bar. That's reality. It's not bragging. It's called hard work, true grit, and determination. And I did that so that I could come forward and bring Canadians the real path to freedom for everybody. There is no left and right. It really is in Canada, up and down. And you are in a tyrannical system. No civil rights whatsoever. You elect divinity of politicians. And provincially, territorially, they have absolute free reign to do whatever they like. And federally, they can almost do the same. And whenever they don't want democracy, they go with the crown powers embedded in the Constitution. The Constitution that doesn't enshrine any one of the third and second class. And for all those who still wave the charter and talk Derek Sloan or PBC Maxime Bernier, you're being misled, you're being played. I'm not the liberal. I can see people posting from the crazy side. I know it comes from Maxime Bernier and Derek Sloan. They're two Trudeau frauds. They're just another brand of Trudeau. I can prove it. And here's the thing for you. So he's on Tucker Carlson, but I don't see him sitting with anyone from the Trump administration whatsoever the last election. I don't see Mitch McConnell or the Vice President Pence. I don't see George Bush's son. I don't see any of those, but yet I get an audience with all of them. I was also given audience with the highest general in the United States Armed Forces who was in that administration, one-on-one. I proved that to all my loyalist followers live on Zoom. That was mine, and that was provided by Vladimir Putin, and that was given live to the whole world. And they said, why isn't this? So many people commented, the limited few of us, but so many people, even in the States, Republicans, why isn't this all over the news? How come the right media doesn't cover it, right? Where's Tucker Carlson, right? There's a lot of bullshit, everybody. And they get paid just like anybody else, and there's narratives that you're never going to get. They're going to give you narratives to get you to give up more of your rights and freedoms. The United States is under attack. I mean, their Constitution's strong, but that media is getting stronger and stronger. And don't be bamboozled by the right media either. Left is already paid off. We even have Canadian writers writing New York Times pieces that are absolutely false. Provable, factually false. A complete lie. And they're saying that you swore an oath of journalistic integrity, and then they just put a little comment underneath, opinion piece. Well, not when you're claiming it's a fact. That's not an opinion. That's a fucking lie. I shouldn't have swore, but it does upset a person. Anyhow, we're going to continue on for the next 2 weeks. Tonight, 8 p.m., we're going to start Eastern. I'm going to start going through UNSC resolution, because that's who we're going to get to do our resolution, Canadian citizens. You're going to have the most powerful countries in the world presenting your resolution. It doesn't matter if it's China, USA. Obviously, we'd like them all to endorse it, and maybe they will. We just need one. And China says if we do a good job and we honor all 5 of the P5, they'll run it. That's a fact. Zhang Jun, Twitter, I got it. And I don't see NDP there with their bullshit narrative from the General Assembly or the Russian General Assembly people. I mean, it's good, but I need to see Dmitry or Vasily, the 2 UNSC reps, come forward. And you know what? I got some email from the Putin administration ministry. We'll see. MF Russia, I don't know. We'll see what they're going to do. But I told them, as I'm telling all of you, I need to see it on the UNSC stage. Now I'm going to look at the schedule, and I'm going to see the next time they're able to talk about that without using up their emergency power to call an emergency meeting anytime they want, which is also UNSC P5 power. But we'll see. That's the work we're on, and I don't care what people say and what they think. The reality is, this is how the world works. I found my place on the world stage, and all of you come with me, you're going to get that piece too. It's about making Canada a better place. It's about strengthening all of you and giving you absolute truth. And we're going to bring down this corrupt government. That's a fact. And if you think it's just one or two parties, you're sadly mistaken. It is exactly how presidents of the United States have spoken of it many times in the past. It's all about up and down. It has nothing to do with left and right. And we're once again facing that, but there is no Ronald Reagan, there's no JFK, and there certainly isn't a Richard Nixon there waiting in the weeds. So, unfortunately, I'm actually somewhat impressed with Joe Biden as of recent, but we'll see. I'm much more happier than I thought he was ever going to be. I was wrong about him, and I had hoped maybe because he's old and he's got his roots in his childhood, that he would remember all that stuff, and so far it seems he does. He's given quite the narrative on it, even though the media doesn't reflect that. The media ignores that. Of course, the left ignores all the good things Biden's doing and only focuses on their narrative. And they ignore a lot. And then the right doesn't write anything at all, and they write lunatic stuff. So we have to help. We have to help. We have to help Nikki Haley and Kelly Knight Craft, everybody. It's up to us. If we don't do it, nobody else will. We know the media is only going to continue to fry them. They got their asses handed to them on Twitter, and it's bad. It's bad. And, you know, I don't know, it's scary. Thanks, that's my video. Let's work hard. Let's get stuff done. Let's show the world that we are the allies, and you can all be allies. You can honor your fallen soldiers of the past and honor their memories. That's a fact, and that's what we're going to do. And we don't need to have a war or revolution. It's evolution, not revolution. We have a real chance to do something never done in world history before, let alone fix our Canada. Fix it for everybody. And trust me, everybody, when everyone's provided the education, left and right is going to disappear. You're going to watch socialism collapse. The crazy radical globalist alt-right narrative is going to collapse. Both of them, the globalist reset and the socialist reset, they're paid by the same people, everybody. So we get rid of those, the left and right, and we focus on the up and down. We flip the pyramid upside down. We give the power to you people. That's what we do right here in Canada, and we're going to make a monumental change, not only for our country and our children and our great-grandchildren and on, but we're going to change the world. That's the beautiful part. There's no loser in this, no loser whatsoever. God bless everybody. We'll see you tonight. Bye now.